Look out, y'all. It's your boy Ashy Knuckles. Trying to do this real quick video. At least I think it's going to be quick. Um, I want to talk about the undercard of the Canelo versus Kirkland fight, May 9th, which is a week after Mayweather and Pacquiao. A fight that's very, very hype, the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. And if the fight lives up to half the hype, half the expectations set forth by the pundits and by the hardcore boxing fans, who we all think that's going to be a solid fight. It's a fight we all been waiting on for years. And if the fight lives up to expectations, at least half of what we expect, then fight fans will still be buzzing, and the buzz from that fight will be carrying over to the next week. And I think uh, that's great on Oscar and Golden Boy Promotions' behalf to schedule this fight a week afterwards. Um, it's a likelihood that a lot of the fans that purchase the pay-per-view will be more inclined to tune into free HBO, which ain't free, but inclined to watch free TV if they're HBO subscribers, and tune into a fight that has Fight of the Year written all over it. Well, some feel it will be Fight of the Year. It has the blueprint of being Fight of the Year when thinking about what both fighters bring to the table, and when thinking about what animals they are in the ring, Canelo and Kirkland. And I think that will be good. I think Oscar De La Hoya is on to something. He has a chance to take Canelo to the next level if he's victorious via spectacular knockout. And also, it may be an opportunity for them to groom a future star in the making. And that is the premise for this video. The undercard fight between Humberto Soto and Frankie the Pitbull Gomez. What do we know about Humberto Soto? Hopped on the scene long time ago. Been in the game for years. Boxing ability is off the roof. He can box. He can bang. He can utilize the ring, but more importantly, he chooses to close the distance on his opponent, throw more combinations, counter very well, go to the body very well, and just take the life out of you. He's a bit long in the tooth right now in the game, but he still represents a threat, the biggest threat to Frankie Gomez thus far. Umberto Soto, boxing IQ has always been through the roof. He's on a win streak right now. I don't know how many fights he's had after losing to Lucas Matisse, but he's definitely proven that he's still a quality opponent. He's still a name within that division, and he's trying to prove that he can actually mix it up with some of these young guns in the division. And I mean, that's pretty much indicative of all fighters that's still trying to prove that they can actually survive in this game. And he's definitely up against it, against this 20, 21, 22-year-old lion that he's going to be facing. So what do we know about Frankie Gomez? He's a guy on the way up. He's undefeated, and he is an absolute thunderstorm in that damn ring. He come to fight. Sometimes boxing goes out the window, not in terms of his balance or his ability to throw in combination, but he don't use a jab a lot of times. And it seems like he darts in and he started letting his hands go, which is a good thing, but a more technically schooled boxer is going to make them pay for that if they are able to place that jab on him. A good jab will tame Frankie Gomez, in my opinion. But so far, guys that have a good jab haven't been able to do it. And what I mean by that is he faced a guy that I know named Leonard Lane, L. Dot. L. Dot got a good jab, and he wasn't able to place it on him. It seemed like he was kind of backpedaling, and just being comforted by the fact that he can go the distance instead of really trying to bite down and take this young hungry guy out when knowing he's on a card that's promoted by the guy who he's fighting. He was coming in as the opponent. But that goes to show you a lot of guys, and I've said this before, a lot of guys don't even know that they're the opponent when they make these matchups. They just see it as, oh, this is a big fight. Both of us are pretty much on the same level, and it's an opportunity. That it is an opportunity, but it's an opportunity for the guy that's being promoted. It's an opportunity for him to get a win and go to the next level by beating a solid opponent. And that's what he was in that fight, and he didn't understand that. And as a result, he let the fight go the distance, and he lost on all the cards, being outpointed, but not really being hurt in the fight. So guys that really did try to stand and fight with Gomez, he beat the dog shit out of him, and as you can see, he's still moving forward. But like I said, the fight with Humberto Soto represents a significant step up in class. Humberto Soto has seen the likes of David Diaz, Jesus Chavez, Urbano Antillon, Joan Guzman, which was a fantastic fight. Come to think of it, Joan Guzman and Humberto Soto, those are two guys that I would have loved to see Pacquiao face when he was in those divisions. He kind of just skated right through those divisions. Around the 126, 130, he pretty much fought Eric Morales, Barrera, and Morales over and over again. But just because you go up in weight and those guys go up in weight with you, that don't automatically make those guys the best fighter in the division. But if those are quality fighters and they go up and go to the next weight, they bring a lot of attention to the next weight. But until those guys beat the best at that weight, they're not the best fighter at that weight. They're just marquee names. And I thought Manny Pacquiao should have at least stayed at 130 a little longer. Should have stayed at 135 a little longer. There were some very intriguing matchups, especially like at 135. Juan was there. You had Casamayor, he was there. Nate Campbell was there. There was a lot of good champions within around those weights, around featherweight, lightweight, that would have made for very intriguing matchups. Joan Guzman pretty much chased Manny Pacquiao from 122 pounds. They were both champion at that weight. And Oscar Larios, who he made Oscar Larios go up in weight and face him, I think, like at 130 or something like that, when Oscar Larios was a 22-pounder. And Manny Pacquiao had already went up in weight. But anyway, that's a different video for a different day. Moving on. Humberto Soto's been in the ring with Rocky Juarez when Rocky Juarez was somebody. Beat the dog shit out of Rocky Juarez. Silver medalist in the Olympics. That's another video too. He's like the featherweight version of Andrew Bellotta. 5-6 world title opportunities and lost all of them. Humberto Soto's fought Jorge Solis, an undefeated Solis. He's fought Kevin Kelly, the Flush and Flash from New York, Slickster. He lost that fight, but Kevin Kelly was a solid fighter in his time. He fought Lucas Matisse. He's fought John Molina Jr. In fact, I think that's his last fight, a win against Molina. So it's not like he's facing a guy who hasn't been in there with somebody. Humberto Soto has seen just about everything that boxing has to offer in terms of stylistic matchups, and he's styled well against pretty much the bulk of them. But in this fight, I think he may be a little bit too older. He may be a little bit too old to tame this young guy. It's a young man's game. Boxing is a young man's game. I mean, it's proven time and time again that most fighters that are older in this game use to the young champions. It's not always the case. As you can see, Bernard Hopkins is still a good fighter. Mayweather is a good fighter. Pacquiao is still a good fighter. And they're in their upper 30s, except for Bernard, he's damn near 50. But those are a small few in the world of boxing where there are thousands of fighters. So that ought to tell you that it is a young man's game. Those guys happen to be special. That's why they're going in that book when it's all said and done in terms of their career. But what I see happening in this fight, I think, like I said before, if Frankie Gomez emerges victorious and he's able to put them hands on Humberto Soto a week after the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, where all eyes will still be tuned in and buzzing from that fight, so to speak, maybe, he has an opportunity to emerge as the next star. He has a TV-friendly fighting style. He come to fight, he throws a gazillion punches, and the boy can crack. Now, He wasn't with Freddie Roach the whole time he's been pro. He's only been with Freddie Roach for maybe a couple of fights. And what he had in his arsenal before he even went to the wild card. They only sent him to the wild card because the theory is that they can help Frankie Gomez focus on the big prize, and that's world title contention, being a world champion and emerging as a star. Frankie Gomez comes from humble beginnings. He's from the hood. He's been in trouble several times in his life, going to jail, stuff like that. So they figure, putting him with a quote unquote Hall of Fame trainer, overhyped trainer, in my opinion, that his focus will lie solely on what his natural gifts are, and that's beating motherfuckers up in the ring. Let's see if Freddie Roach can do the basic and give that young man a jab, which will help his fighting style tremendously, because all he needs is a good jab. Not a jab to dictate the pace of the fight, but a jab so he can get his opponent offset and close the distance on him, so he can get inside and do his work, because that's where the bulk of his work is done, in close quarters in a guy's chest, giving him the business. Let's see if Freddie Roach can at least do that. If there are any vulnerabilities in Frankie Gomez's game, it will be exposed. Like I said, Humberto Soto is not out of the game. He's not lost it. He's still got some formidable. He's still a formidable opponent. He still has some things in his arsenal that he could teach a young guy and possibly frustrate him and go for the upset. I don't see it happening. I think Frankie Gomez has everything he needs to win this fight. I thought he had what he needs prior to even going to Freddie Roach to win a fight of this magnitude and go to the next level. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, Frankie Gomez, the pit bull, he's a bright spot in the world of boxing. I would like to see more of him. There are a lot of good prospects in the game. I think a spotlight needs to shine on this young man, because he may be one of the brightest spots in terms of the young guns in the sport of boxing. This is a great opportunity for him to be showcased on this stage. This is not a ESPN type fight. This is not a fucking whatever, Spike TV type, whatever type fight that's low quality. This is a quality type fight where eyes will be tuned in. He'll be fighting in front of a large Mexican American audience. The arena, it's in Minute Maid. It's in a baseball stadium. This is the first time they've had boxing at Minute Maid Park, and from what I heard, 30,000 tickets were already sold. The Mexican American audience is going to be like 80 to 90% of that audience, and I think the other may be a mix between white and black, probably more white than black, considering it's a predominantly Mexican and Mexican American fight card. But Kirkland is also on the bill. Kirkland name don't ring out in Houston like it does in Austin and in San Antonio, and it doesn't really ring out in San Antonio. They usually show up for the Hispanics. I've never seen them sell out an arena. I think this is a grand opportunity for Kirkland, considering that he is from Texas and he too has a fight-friendly, TV-friendly fight style. And this just turning out to be a well-rounded card. It may be more well-rounded than the damn card the previous week, the Mayweather-Pacquiao card, which I think the undercard is probably going to be trash. You're only spending that money to watch those two guys fight. But yeah, like I said before, Frankie Gomez is a great opportunity. He beat my guy L. Dot. He beat Sid El Harak, who is a dude who comes to fight. It's a dude who's sparred in a lot of quality guys training camps, Margarito and the such. El Harak will be facing Chris Pearson on that Mayweather undercard, and that's a fight that says upset all over, because if Chris Pearson comes in there with that bullshit, he gonna get his ass whooped. But if Chris Pearson is on his game, I think the fight will end in spectacular knockout. But this is not the fight. That is not the fight he need to come out starting slow, which has been his Achilles heel in fights on television. He can easily lose this fight. And in my opinion, I've said this on Twitter, I think outside of Mayweather, TMT, the money team is trash. I don't see anybody just emerging as a top-notch fighter in that stable. They're all in awe of Mayweather, Mayweather spoils these guys, and the hunger is not there because he's feeding them. So it's not like they don't have quality fighters in there. I don't like Ishii Smith, but he can fight. I've never said he couldn't fight. I never said didn't have talent. I just don't like the guy because of a personal reason and some previous reasons, and basically by what he's shown us on TV too in his history. And he should have been champ at least 2 or 3 times by now, or he should have reigned as champion for longer than he had the title. Uh, he had been sparring Oscar De La Hoya, Fernando Vargas, Shane Mosley, all those guys long time ago, but he just never really emerged um, based on the talent that he possessed. I think that was just a waste of talent. Um, but we'll see what happens with El Harak and Chris Pearson. But back to the point of the video, Frankie Gomez, star on the rise. Let's see what happens. Hopefully Freddie Roach can get that boy jab and take him to the next level. As long as he with Freddie Roach, the media is gonna always hype his ass. He may be a pay-per-view star one day. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think. I got Frankie Gomez stopping Humberto Soto. I think he just a whirlwind in that ring, and I think Umberto Soto, even though he's not just totally old, I think the ring has worn on him, and I think Frankie Gomez is the type of fighter to expose the ring wear. And if you have ring wear and going in the ring with him, he gonna beat your ass, and it's just gonna be the end of the story. And that's what I see happening. But let me know what you think. Great card. The week after the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, can't wait to see it on HBO. Holla at your boy.